My name is Kristen Meghan Kelly, and I am a senior industrial hygienist and an environmental specialist. I joined the Air Force right after 9/11 in 2001. When I was in the military, I worked in bioenvironmental engineering, which is the equivalent to OSHA, EPA, and the Nuclear Regulatory Commission. I was stationed at 3 different Air Force bases: Royal Air Force Lakenheath in England, Tinker Air Force Base in Oklahoma, and Warner Robins Air Force Base in Georgia. Part of my job in the Air Force was to track every chemical that was being brought onto the base, chemicals that were cancer-causing, could cause blindness, asphyxiation, and I had to figure out who was using it, why, and making sure that people are being protected in their job and that those chemicals don't make it home to their families and don't make their way into navigable waterways. It was a very fulfilling career. I felt like I made a difference. Actually, some of my work became an Air Force best practice. I believe it was in late 2006 I had first heard of the term chemtrails. And everyone was pointing out lines in the sky and saying that this was a nefarious program that the government was behind. And I actually thought that was insane. I'm over here spending time making sure that people are safe from the very chemicals that are being claimed to be sprayed above us. That made no sense to me, and I was actually offended because it was a kind of a slap in the face to what I did in my profession. So I made it my mission to attempt to debunk this chemtrail conspiracy theory. I started doing background soil sampling in my backyard because I lived right behind the flight line, and I did aerial sampling. I was finding chemicals, strontium, barium, aluminum, and there were other heavy metals like toluene and benzene. And these chemicals I was finding were the exact same chemicals claimed to be used in this conspiracy theory. Should chemicals like this exist in the environment naturally? And that answer is no. So they had to have come from an external industrial source. So I started to really go back and look at a lot of the chemical acquisition, even before me. As part of the chemical acquisition, I would basically fill out an electronic version of what is called an Air Force Form 3952. And that is a form that I would have to review and make sure I had what the chemical was, and it let us know the health hazards, type of PPE to be worn, and that we know how they're using it and disposing of it. One of the major issues was realizing that key information on those material safety data sheets was missing, and you cannot acquire a chemical that doesn't have the full data of its hazards. It's an instant decline. And that is a red flag to me, and I was seeing that the exact same chemicals I was finding in my sampling, nanoparticulate size, barium, sulfates, strontium, aluminum, they were being brought on base in large quantities, tons of this material going to classified buildings. I could not think of one legitimate reason that those type of chemicals in that form would ever be brought on base, and for what process would it ever be used for. And these same chemicals are the ones that were claimed to be utilized in geoengineering.